Hey everyone, welcome to another RadBlast.
Yeah, it's another Tuesday time for RadBlast.
Today we are sitting here with Tom Siedle, a local Jacksonville actor extraordinaire.
The one and only.
Hi, how are you?
Tom, welcome.
Actor extraordinaire.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. You're our first guest on the revamped
Yep.
RadBlast.
I think it's more extraordinary that I'm your first guest rather than I'm an actor in Jacksonville. Congratulations.
Yeah, well.
So you're changing format, are you?
Always, constantly.
Yeah, this doesn't really have a format. Usually, most of the time we'll get questions from people, and then we forget to answer them.
Yeah, that's usually our MO.
Yeah.
That's something I would be more aligned with, I think.
But
Well,
people
we could
wanted
go
to
through
talk
and find
about
some questions.
Yeah, well, people have wanted to talk about the Jacksonville Film Festival. Well, the film
Tom
scene.
is the film festival of
Yeah. Tom, that's his nickname, is Film Festival.
Tom.
FF.
Actually, it kind of, dude, seriously, every film festival that I go to that's in Jacksonville, like a local one, you're in like 6 movies. It's just like,
That's
Tom,
true.
Tom.
I think I'm the only person in Jacksonville that can pass for 40. I think I embraced my age.
That can't be
and I
true.
I just did it. No, actually, I'm only 28.
What are all the citizens'
Yeah.
children?
I've just been cursed with an old face.
No, hey,
You should have
man,
seen me at
that's
12.
not a curse, man.
You should have seen me at 12. I was getting that
You're like Benjamin Button.
college tag.
Buying
man.
cigarettes for your friends.
Shit, yeah. Had a shoestring mustache.
Oh my.
Oh, yeah.
Better than a
Beautiful.
shoestring budget.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tom, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
Well, I grew up moving around with my parents. We built, we didn't do shit. I shit myself most of the time. Dad built nuclear power plants all over the country, and worked in copper mines, stuff like that. So we moved a whole bunch. We ended up in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Great place, great town. I really, really enjoyed the hell.
Where is that in relation to a place in Mississippi I would know?
Oh, Vicksburg's the only place to know. It's the dent in Mississippi where the Mississippi River dives in away from Louisiana.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that little dent right there. Yeah, it's
Cool.
So I joined the Navy out of there, and after 10 years, I ended up here in Jacksonville.
And what did you do in the Navy?
Well, I worked with the intelligence guys and just did paperwork, stuff like that, helped them try to make decisions based on intel they gather. I'd try to organize it to them, hand it over to them, and they'd make the big decisions and all that sort of stuff. Not much. I sat in an office.
That's pretty cool, though, to be a part of that.
Well, yeah, it was great. I did do 4 years on the submarines when I first got in, which was my father's trade. He was a submarine electrician. We learned nuclear power and all that sort of
Talk
stuff.
about that. Is that scary as fuck?
Oh man, it's wonderful. Actually, it's an intense situation. Anyway, everyone knows it. They everyone's very hardworking and they know their job. They know everyone else's job. The smartest of the smart people in the military.
Well, I guess you can't really be a fuck up on a sub.
Not much. You
Not a lot
fuck
of
up,
room for error.
yeah. You fuck up, you fuck everyone. The only time I've ever found that anywhere else is on a film set. So it's kind of what attracted me. Absolutely. I didn't really want to get into acting or filmmaking. I wanted a real job where I could make real money, like everyone else,
Right.
kind of your civilian friends say. And first couple film sets I was on, I noticed how much sweat was pouring, and blood.
Yeah.
And how everyone was professional and they kind of did their thing and they worked as hard as they could, and the product turned out. It's never the way we want it, but everybody survived. Everybody did a good job, and that's where you find that same kind of spirit. Everyone knows their job. Everyone knows everyone else's job, and they're there to get the job done.
What was the first movie you ever worked on?
It's called Terminal of the Mind with J.T. Chin. So I got out of the Navy. I was bouncing around trying to figure out what I was doing. I was in college at the time for a business degree, and you know how colleges are. They don't offer the same classes, but they have these classes that are in these different columns of different classes that mean the same class. It doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, they didn't have business ethics, so I could take Acting 1 as, the same
elective.
class.
Yeah.
Right.
Where did you go to college?
It was a little school in Central Florida.
That's probably why they didn't have business ethics.
The school probably could have used business ethics.
Yeah.
And give the students a better... Actually, the teachers were wonderful. Best math teacher I ever knew. I met there. Anyway, and I don't know. I liked it. I was an old guy, so I'm hanging out with the teachers, right, instead of the students. And myself and his acting teacher really kind of hit it off. He was the same rate as me in the Navy during the Gulf War, And he was talking about it. He's like, yeah, man, when you get out, everything's kind of wonky and weird. This helped me get back to some semblance of myself.
Right.
Because it makes you observe emotions. That's what I love about acting. It makes you observe emotions without reacting to them. So, where a lot of veterans struggle with anger or depression or any host of issues that we all get to enjoy for serving our nation. And sometimes when you find yourself in that state, like you're so angry and it's about to turn to rage, or you're so sad and you're just immersed in it and you really can't get out of it. Now it's a little more like when you feel it cropping up, you run to the mirror to see what it looks like. Say, oh, what do I look like when I'm doing this? Oh, man, I can't do that on camera. That looks stupid as hell. It's things like that. So it makes helps you observe the emotions and then roll them into.
So it's almost like a therapy of sorts.
Yeah, it's a great therapy. I think and it's self-driven.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend it to. I'd recommend it to any veteran.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. So
absolutely.
It allows you. It gives you some sort of a control that you probably couldn't afford to have in the military.
Well, you didn't really realize you had it, I think. We talk about military brain and things like that. We have control over our physical self, but inside we're raging.
Right.
So we're able to stand there at attention and get yelled at, but inside we're crying. We're like, oh my God, why is the guy picking on me? We're like, military guys are like anybody else, man.
Right.
We're just put in extreme situations, and that's another thing about acting is the entire job is to pretend like I'm in an extreme situation. Right. That's someone else. I mean, I know the character's name is. Like the current movie we're working on, I'm Going to Kill Someone This Friday, Robert Partridge. But it's not. It's just me in Robert Partridge's life, the way I would react. So
you don't...
It's not an easy job. Well, let me get back to the first movie.
Oh, yeah.
I was in acting one, and at the same time, my mother was doing, senior citizen theater there in the Villages, huge retirement community down south. And so she was in the theater department, and there was another guy there, about 50 years old, that's been doing theater his whole life and film acting and stuff like that. So I kind of hooked up with him. He's close to my age, in the retirement community, and he's an actor. So he brought me along on one of his films called Turn of the Mind, a little short film, student film down in Tampa, and I just played the detective in the background, goofing off. And that's when I noticed, I'm like, oh my God, this is a real job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing missing in this case is a paycheck. These folks were working, and it's it's a ship. It's a ship operating in foreign waters and in a foreign territory. These people, a film set can walk into any place and turn it into a film set, and then operate it the way, a subway at sea, which was remarkable to me. Really enjoyed the hell out of it, and that's why I enjoy working with you guys.
That is bizarre and powerful about movie sets. I was just watching the other night the behind the scenes of Game of Thrones.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
Was going through all of their, and not even just this. I mean, dude, they had a 60-foot wall of chroma key.
Yeah.
When they did like the ship stuff.
Yeah.
And then just the sheer mass of it is crazy to me, and how they're able to build this giant, the map room.
Yeah.
The map on the floor was hand painted, and the guy that designed it was the one that was actually in the scene.
Cool.
When she dismisses him, that's actually the guy that designed the map that they drew on the floor.
That's really cool of them to let him... People just don't realize what goes into making a film. No matter how big or small the film is, like the amount of work. I mean, we shot, 2 14-hour days on the last short, and we got about 14 minutes out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
One was a 15-hour day, the next one was a 12-hour day.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of moving parts. You can't afford to babysit. And I think that was to your point earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody seems to know what the job is, what they got to do to get in and get shit done and do it well and get out.
Right.
Because everybody wants to go home. But everybody wants to make something that's good.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of, it's an interesting drive, too, when you consider the difference between that and, for example, my job that I use to pay my bills, which is an office job,
right,
which is just pushing paper around. And there's very little reward in that to me because, I don't have an investment in the company other than getting a paycheck.
Right.
And that sounds shitty. I mean, I care about the company and I want it to do well because I want to keep getting the paycheck.
Well, no, you don't. You want your cubicle mate to keep getting his paycheck, and he wants his cube mate to get their paycheck. So everybody's kind of working for each other on the ground there. No, you don't care about, I don't know, pick a company. Well, you can't say any company. This isn't copyright approved or whatever. But
who cares?
Pick your biggest cigarette company. Yeah, they might even know that this company. Oh God, how can we work for these assholes? They're killing people, right? But you're on the ground fighting for the guy standing next to you. It really is a parallel to this is the way human beings are wired. It's not just that you want a paycheck too. You don't want to see the company tank and then everyone in your office lose their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can see that for sure. I guess I really
But you don't care about blank name, blankety blank. You don't even know how to pronounce the damn name you work at. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I don't have an emotional investment.
Right.
I have a realistic investment, financially speaking, and
Right.
speaking to my future. But I don't have the type of emotional investment that I do in art. And no matter what kind of art it is for me, whether it's music or filmmaking or writing or acting, any of those things bring out a spark in me that nothing else does.
And that's what I love about the film industry itself, or especially I don't really know much about the film industry. I'm not that big, but the Jacksonville film market is everyone that's there is absolutely invested, and not just the film, but the art that they can bring to the process, the creative input they can bring to the process, and that's helpful. It can be hurtful, but it's helpful for the most part, and everyone is emotionally invested.
Well, that's what I just like the concept of filmmaking is like somebody has an idea in their head, and then they put it on paper, and they type it out, and they get it how they want it, and then they start sending it to people, and then the people are like, oh, this is a good idea, and then they start building a team, and then you start getting actors, and then you start shooting, and then you go through all this shit, and then you get into post-production, and you have to edit it and send it out for sound, and just music and everything, and then you get the end product, and it's just like, holy shit, like this was an idea in my head.
Holy shit,
and now
we shouldn't show this.
Right, yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
That's a lot of Tom's ass. But we, you get that idea, and then it's out there forever. Like your idea that you had is now a piece of history. Maybe not history, but it's there throughout the ages because of our technological advancements. It's going to be on the cloud forever.
Well, it's the history of it is a part of history in a sense, and there's a large amalgamation of it. I think too that it can be very stressful because when we did the NASA thing, that was crazy because I had one idea. Like we first we didn't even have a location, and then that was like a back and forth as far as scheduling and timing for everybody to get the location. Then we finally got the location,
and then the original know what the NASA thing is.
No, they will.
Yeah,
no, it's going to come.
There's a short film we made for NASA.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from them.
And we won't until October.
October?
Yeah. They have a 6-week judging period, and then they
probably got a shit ton.
And then they have 6 weeks after the judging period before they have to tell you something. They're like, you'll hear anything between September 15th and October 20th or something nuts.
2020.
But anyway, making that, getting the location, and then the original person I wanted for the actor wasn't there, and then the backup that I wanted for the actor wasn't there, and then Justin was able to step in, and it was just like, oh my God, we got to get all this shit together. And then when we got there, it just went. Because like you were mentioning, that people were there that knew what they were doing, that got in there and did their fucking job, and we were in and out of there in 4 or 5 hours.
And it had someone, Justin, who was passionate enough and committed enough to have to actually be there anyway.
Right.
That his acting actually showed it. The commitment that he had to the character and who he was portraying and what he was talking about, that showed.
He's a better actor than he thinks he is, but I guess we all are.
That's what I mean. I would take a non-actor over an actor that doesn't believe in the project any day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think the hardest part of any project is pre-production.
That is the hardest part.
Oh, yeah.
Like trying to get all your resources. Especially if you're doing it for free and you're not paying people because, if it's a paying gig, you're just like, hey, I'll pay you $150 to come out here and make sure there's food on this table.
Right.
Like, okay, I can do that. Fuck yeah, for $150, you can... I'll be there for 30 hours, just like
right. You can get people to do just about anything.
It's exposure,
right?
But yeah, getting there because a lot of the independent stuff that we do, it's all no budget, micro budget. If we had a budget, I don't even want to know what we could do. If somebody handed us $50,000 to make a movie,
oh, I know,
man. We would make a fucking movie.
I think that you and I need to decide on a project that we want to do, whether it's for a feature or a pilot or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Kickstarter that shit.
Hey, and I think we should include Cosmo Kramer because I had a dream. I was talking him into being in one of our films. This might sound crazy, but
Now, when you say that,
What's that dude's name?
Do you mean Michael Richards?
There you
or
go.
do you mean
Richards.
the actual character Cosmo Kramer?
I love Michael Richards.
Because one time,
so in the dream I was talking, I was like telling him, he's like, no, everybody still hates me, man. I was like, dude, everybody's loved you. They're just shocked.
I think everybody's over it.
Everybody loves you, man.
I think
Come on, be in
everybody's
our
over
movie.
it.
And he finally agreed. And it was like, added so much to our movie. So,
Oh my God,
Yeah,
that would be scary.
It'd be so much fun. It'd be
watching
so
you and Michael Richards.
Oh, it'd be so much fun to work with.
Well, you know he's super serious. Like if you see the outtakes and bloopers from the show, he hates the idea of breaking. Like
Right.
when people break, he's just like, okay, come on. He's
Yeah,
like
all right, get back in.
super
Come on.
fucking in the zone.
Oh, yeah.
And you wouldn't think that when you consider just how zany of an actor he is.
Oh, I know.
That I think just shows to his talent.
What else has he been in?
He was in a movie called, the first thing that comes to mind is there was a movie called Trial and Error. And it was in, I think, 1993, I want to say, maybe a little later. And it's him and Jeff Daniels. And it's about lawyers. And it's fucking hilarious.
Really?
Yeah. And then he's been in other scattered things, but those are the two big things I know him for is Seinfeld and then Trial and Error.
Okay. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else.
I think that we talked about this before, too, about separating the person from the art.
Yeah.
You know, with everything that went down with him. And honestly, I chalk it up to him just losing his fucking cool and being a douchebag.
That's it.
But I don't think
shit.
that anybody should be measured in that microcosm of a second. But I also will say that I don't even consider that when I consider his work as an artist.
Yeah.
And it's kind of I've kind of had to do that with the Michael Jackson thing and with the Bill Cosby thing and
Well, I mean, and not to like give them justification for what they do, but like a lot of artists are kind of
off.
They're off and they're fucked up and they have crazy things going on. And
Yeah.
I mean, look at Robin Williams, man. Like that was one of the funniest dudes ever. And
so sad.
super dark. Like
And,
all of them.
Dude, Michael Jackson, a lot of people don't realize Michael Jackson had a really fucking horrible childhood.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, his dad
Father,
was
oh.
Joe Jackson was a goddamn monster. And he would have those kids in there practicing night and day, sweating, not getting sleep, just going. And he's what, 5 years old?
Right.
Little Michael. And that's another
pressure.
level.
Let's get back to Tom.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah.
Is
So
there,
I fully agree. I think actors are unstable. I'll freely admit that I'm severely unstable.
I think everybody has to be a little crazy if they're an artist in any way.
But
Let's talk about.
I think if we're all trying to get, I think actors, like the artistic type, like Robin Williams and some of these, the ones that don't indulge it, like I don't want to call anybody out, but the ones that don't indulge, the ones that are always working, trying to get better, even though they'll never get better, even if they freely accept that. They're constantly working every day.
You mean Nicolas Cage?
They become this creative type, and and that's really that becomes their aim is to get better. And I think that's kind of what I fell into with this whole acting gig. I'm trying every day.
So
I think there's a lot of creatives have that in them.
Oh yeah.
Like either they're trying to make themselves better, or they project outward and they try to make the world a better place. It's just filmmaking is the slings and arrows of the mind. We can project ideas and
I always get that feeling like if I'm not making something, that I'm just wasting time.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like I can't sit around. Like,
Yeah.
this is terrible. Like, even if I'm not working on a project, I'm looking at videos online or reading about how to make a better film, and it's always just like trying to get better at what you're doing. And I feel like if you get too stable with like how you are, you're not going to progress as a filmmaker. Like if you keep making the same, I guess in any artist medium, if like you're content with what you have, like you keep making the same thing over and over again, you're not going to do anything.
Well, you have to challenge yourself, and I also think that that for me, I think, and it might sound like pompous or whatever, but I certainly don't mean it to. Like for me, I am like what you mentioned. I am about like wanting to make a difference in the world, and
Right.
I'm not trying to fucking change the world. It's just that there have been circumstances for me with my old YouTube channel where people have come out to me and said that I was really depressed and considering suicide, and I saw this video where you talked about it, and it made me rethink it, and I've gotten messages
I
from
seriously
people.
wanted to do it, and it became real.
Yeah, well, so I started stalking you.
Exactly.
But then I got a message one time. I've got a couple of messages from people who said that I inspired them to learn an instrument.
Hell yeah.
And it's those tiny things for me as someone that's just like, you know what? I don't need $1 million. and I don't need a million fans. I just want to know that somebody out there is getting something positive from something I'm saying or doing, whether it's laughing or inspirational or thought-provoking or whatever it is.
Hepatitis C positive.
Yeah.
On that note, this is the end of the podcast
that's it?
for this
We didn't
Tuesday.
even-
Yeah, man.
And this is episode...
We got Tom back next week, so stay tuned and get ready.
Yeah. Business in the front, pleasure in the back.
Pleasure.
If you know what I mean.
Thank you.
Oh, no one does.